Hello and welcome to the Sands of Time review channel. It's your host Sammy Thunder. Today I'd like to discuss a recent acquisition for myself, being the Stowa Marine Original. The Stowa Marine Original has been a watch that has always been on my mind, and I didn't really want to cough up the full retail price from Stowa and then the import tax cost as much as I loved the watch. And I got very lucky and I managed to find this piece on eBay. It was pretty much, I could just say, new old stock. Was that the condition was flawless and it was great. So before I go on and go through my owner's review of this piece, just do a quick wristwatch check. This is the Grand Seiko SBGR061, and this watch here is the double branded Grand Seiko. It's currently discontinued, so it was also a very recent acquisition. I'll go in depth with it in another review later. So what I have here right now is the Stowa Marine Original, and this is not the version with the silver dial, so it doesn't have that extra level of movement finishing in the silver dial, but it is still amazing. I actually like this luscious white dial. I think it's a lacquered white or something like that. It's a it is very enamel-like or porcelain-like. That's something I can say for sure. The watch itself, it's a marine watch, a deck watch, you could say, and these were kind of like tool watches for people in in the Navy. They needed these really highly accurate marine chronometers, and this is kind of the style of watch that was produced. And you can see here that you have the sub-seconds over there, so you get precise timing. You also got that nice railroad track and Arabic numerals. Of course, you have options of going with Roman numerals, but Arabic, I didn't have a choice, but I love Arabic numerals. The watch itself is very clean. There's no cutout on the 6 o'clock position for a 6 numeral, nothing like that. It is just pure class. It's very clean. It's one simple kind of finishing. It's just all high polish. That's it. It's simple. So why did I get such a simple watch? Why this watch in particular? What I love about Stowa, and especially what they offer with this Marine Original, is firstly the sub-seconds, a traditional marine clock vibe. So you have thermally blued hands, Arabic numerals, railroad track, Stowa branding. You do have the made in Germany there for additional text in the bottom, but one of the other stars of the show is that 6498 movement. So this is a quick shot of it, and there's a lot of modification done here. So you actually have screw balance on that balance wheel. You also have a swan neck regulator, German touch there. You do have the striping there, and if you do opt for the silver version, you do get the kind of the swirl finishing on the barrel. Not to mention, this watch features all thermally blued screws, and for the price, it's finished to an excellent standard. This is a beauty to look at, honestly. And if you're a person that wants a high horology watch with a lot of finishing, but you can't muster the price, honestly, a 6498 movement watch or 6497-1 movement watch, it is a watch for you. And these movements were robust, workhorse. It was used in Panerai. You can get those very same Panerais as well. So enough of the movement. I'll just quickly go through the specs of this watch. And the spec for this watch is that it features a 41mm diameter, so it wears large because the dial is large. It's a large watch. There are many variations of this marine watch on the Stowa website, and you can definitely go for it. It features a 12mm height. So it's 12mm height. It appears thick, even though it's relatively thin for this kind of watch. And the reason being so is because it's slab-sided, and there's only one form of polish. Simple. So it appears thick, but In hindsight, it's relatively thin. This Seiko, I believe, is much more thicker, but it appears thin. So, Seiko magic there, but here we are with Stowa. The strap width itself is around 22 mils, so it's 22 mil, so large strap, large width, very proportionate, very accurate to the proportion of the watch. I like that. The actual lug to lug is 50.22 mils, so large lug to lug, and it features a 5 atmospheres of water resistance. So you can technically, it'll be fine in rain environment. I wouldn't take this swimming, especially with the strap. What does this feature? It features classic thermally blued hands. You have the Spades handset. Very, very classy, elegant. It's a beautiful watch, alright? It's simple. It's made in Germany. They actually finished this watch by hand, just by reading some of the articles from Stowa. Very respectable brand as well. It is a one of the 5 main watchmakers for the Luftwaffe during the World War II, in producing the Flieger style of watches, and Stowa is one of those brands, and that includes the big names of IWC, Alanga and Son, Larco, Wempe. So this is nothing to sneer out. It's not just an affordable watch. The actual retail price on this is around 2,300-ish Australian dollars from the Stowa website. And really, if you want to get these, it's either someone selling it pre-owned or you're buying direct from Stowa. There is a little bit of horology here with the swan neck regulator, with a little bit of that finishing, with the screwed balance, with the pelage down over there. It's a very nice watch, and this is just going through the winding. Winding is very satisfying. I love looking at it. So every morning I kind of give it 20 winds, and it's got enough juice for the day. So sapphire crystal on the bottom and on the top here with anti-reflective coating, and it's dual curve. So it features a dual curve sapphire crystal. Finishing of the watch, as explained, is all of high polish. It is on the mirror polish. I'd say the finishing is reminiscent of, or similar to, Breitling level of finishing when it comes to the case polishing. Obviously, being a full polish case, smudges, very easy to see, and hairlines will start to develop, but that's just the natural part of owning these kinds of watches. I do believe there are many variations where you do have brushed cases there as well, but here I have the polished. You have a signed crown with the Stowa modern Stowa logo, so you have old school Stowa logo, but here we have a modern Stowa logo. So this is kind of just the basic specifications, what's featured here on the watch. As you can see, the numerals there, I like how it has that glossy sheen to it, so I believe those numerals are stamped onto the dial, but you can definitely see the inkiness of it, and also I love the whiteness of the dial, if that's a word. It's very, very classy. It's what this watch is. It's a marine watch. It's not doing anything special, but there are many watches from IWC which follow. I think the Portuguese line of watches follow this, and many German watches love this. Sub-seconds at 6, and I wanted a watch with sub-seconds. I wanted a manual wind, and it ticks all those those requirements well. But how do I feel wearing this watch? Was it worth? So I paid around $1,300 for this, so close to a bit more than half of the price, but you're getting a true watch. You're getting thermally blued handset, as you can see here. Beautiful elegance. What would I improve here? I think the case is fine. Maybe try to focus on the case in terms of trying to make it seem thinner, or make the watch thinner. by mil. I know this is slab sided, but it does appear thick even at 12 mils. You know, and I wear, you know, many Grand Seiko watches that are much thicker, but they just appear so much thinner on wrist. That's one thing with slab-sided case watches. So I think, honestly, that's probably my only negative for this watch, is that it can appear, it wears a bit large, and that I think that's what this watch is trying to do. It has wrist presence. For such a classy watch, it actually has a great wrist presence. So the next thing I'd like to talk about actually is the strap. So this strap actually comes from Stowa. It's a nice genuine leather strap. My only negative from this strap is that it's got I don't know how they glued onto the backside a piece of the leather there, but it doesn't feel good. Seeing that makes it feel like it's cheap. So I really want to kind of get another strap for this, and it doesn't really feel like leather. It feels like some synthetic material. I think ever since Stowa's actually put on much higher quality straps than this one, which is fine. I think this model is from 2017, but kept to an excellent standard. Love manually winding this watch, but apart from that, I think, yeah, those were really the only two negatives as an owner. And I'll kind of give you a wrist shot. So again, Grand Seiko on the wrist. I'll take that off, I'll put that there, and we'll wear this beautiful Stowa Marine original. I like the buckle on the watch. That's all good, the actual material there. And here we go. So this here is the Stowa Marine original on my wrist. As you can see, it's quite a large watch with the approximately 50 mil lug to lug distance, but it has a very nice wrist presence there. Very clean, easy to read, no nonsense watch. That's what it is. That's what this watch is. It's a no nonsense marine watch, and that's the Stowa hardware. Got the strap itself, it looks good, and it actually matches the design ethos of the watch. It's just that I would try and get something else. This is a strap monster, 22 mils, white dial. You can put any coloured strap really on it. So that's the thing. Now this watch is a non-luminescent watch. I believe Larco features a watch similar to a Stowa Marine with the 6498 movement. Without a swan neck regulator, with a loomed dial, which is good. Just improves the the everyday wearability, and vision during night. However, I do think this is perfectly sufficient. I have other watches in my collection that offer other functionality. I'm happy where this is. Now I'll try and go in and zoom just to get some macro. And I'm sorry because I'm using a macro lens to do this, and it doesn't have autofocus, so this is going to be very hard. But as you can see here, that under the macro there's no defect. I didn't see a speck of dust. The Germans really do a great job here. It's excellent. You can see the capped off seconds. The capped off hour and minute hand stack there. And there's absolutely no dust. If you do see it, it's on the crystal. There's not a single speck of dust. It's an excellent dial. They're very meticulous with it. Got the made in Germany down there. All high polish to a Swiss standard. So we'll actually have a look at the movement. That's a Stowa, and that's in gold. You might be able to see some dust here, but it's relatively clean actually. So you have the Stowa logo there. There is a fly annoying me at the moment, but got the jewels. 6498, easily identifiable, thermally blued screws, excellent finishing on these barrels as well. Let's get this swan neck in focus, and we've got the swan neck, nice brushing on that swan neck, and down below there we have try and get the light to focus here. we do have the pelage finishing down there, so excellent, you know, under the balance wheel. So this is nice to look at. Also the screw balance as well. So that's the Stowa under the macro. So I'll try and get off this macro so we can at least enjoy the watch. Normally, so yeah, was there anything else I wanted to talk about this watch? Not really. I think this is my owner's perspective. I've owned this watch for approximately 1 month. This is a keeper. This is a keeper for what it is. You know, manual wind movement, 6498, swan neck regulator. All right, thermally blued screws. Nice level of finishing. It's no nonsense. It's not trying to be something high end. It's what you get for the price. Sapphire crystal with excellent anti-reflective treatment. Thermally blued hour, minute, and seconds hand. Perfect symmetry. No cutouts for the 6. Made in Germany. Perfect. This is perfect for me. Alright? The only thing I would think of doing, which is unnecessary for me and my wrist size of 7.1 inch wrists, is to decrease the height and maybe decrease the 41mm diameter by 1mm diameter. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's perfect. Push pull crown, obviously one position, no date, non-hacking movement, by the way. I don't really care. For me, I'm not a big fan of accuracy. Well, like I'm not a big fan of accuracy. I do care about accuracy. It's just that if it's gonna run 5, 10 or 15 seconds a day, that's all good. But this example is running around 4 to 5 seconds a day, and it's from year 2017. So it's a workhorse, and it's keeping excellent accuracy, easy to service. This is the watch. So it's the sands of time, exiting out. Thanks for watching.